You know how we do it on this program every Sunday evening. The political spotlight gets to shed lights on issues across Nigeria's political stratosphere and even internationally, so long as whatever influence most of these issues have within our polity, we discuss it right here on the political spotlight. Today, my guests will not be joining me physically, they'll be joining me virtually, and that's the person of Mr. Elvis Elimbele via the telephone, and of course, Barrister Darlington. These two amazing gentlemen will be giving us their own in-depth analysis based on their expertise on most of the issues we'll be discussing on the political spotlight today. However, before I commence, there's something I want to ask you. How are you? For real, how are you doing? How are you coping with the ordeal we're currently going through? How are you managing precisely? Because I myself right here, I'll just tell you that it's grace. So how are you doing? And that's basically what the conversation is, because we need to know how are Nigerians coping with the current economic reality, with the increment right now, the official increment in petrol. How are you coping? How are you faring? Precisely. Taking care of the kids, school fees. I hope you're not choosing which of your kid will actually have to attend school while maybe others stay at home just because of the fund that you have, the availability of funds, the limited availability of funds. So how are you eating? How are you faring? How are you transporting yourself? How are you coping? How are you trying to keep yourself safe? Because again, insecurity is actually very rife. I'm sure most of you heard the unfortunate scenario that transpired with some journalists who were going to cover an event in Anambra, and they were kidnapped, and I heard about two of them were killed. I don't even understand how to explain it. You're working, you have to work, you have no choice, you have to work. And I can actually understand if the company had to send them via the road, to go by road. I can imagine why they sent them to go by road. Do you know if you want to go by road now, it's about 50,000-60,000 naira per person. So the company sure obviously thought about it, about cost management, because if you have to go by flight, one person, domestic, you can imagine how much it is. And these persons, in the course of their job, innocently, they lost their lives. It's sad, really, to be honest with you. You don't have security, you don't have safety, you can't go about your job, you can't go about your businesses, the economy is stifling, it's worrisome. And then begs the question, what are Nigerians doing about it? What are our leaders doing about it? Especially those who are not currently serving within this administration, because I would expect those currently serving within this administration to defend the administration. Obviously, they will defend the administration. So those who are not currently serving, what are you doing beyond talking, beyond tweeting, beyond writing? What exactly is your step to allowing the government to understand that, hey, this has gone beyond what is ordinary? The president is on vacation at this moment. We haven't heard anything, and yet I don't know how to explain it. But let's look at the situation. I'm going to play a documentary about the cesspool of corruption within the NNPC. Precisely, and the supposed subsidy mantra that actually has been non-existent. All right, but anyways, there's a situation with the fact that for decades Nigerians have observed fluctuating journey of fuel prices spanning from a humble 6 kobo in 1973 to a staggering 617 naira per liter in 2023. I'm even shocked that 617 naira per liter was what was at stake in 2023, because there's a major increment right now, which is about 1,000 and something naira. In some places it's 1,002, in some other places it's 1,300. And if we have to look back from that time till now, I would say we're going to spend the whole day here. But again, let's possibly look at it from precisely 2007. During the time of Yarodwa, petrol was 65 naira per liter. All right. Of course, the fuel price was reduced at that time. Within the period of administration of President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan at the time in 2012, it ranged from 65 to 141 naira. I remember at the time, the opposition then, which was led by John Oyegun, current President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Lai Mohammed, former information minister, and a host of others went on the streets where they did the whole Occupy Nigeria, when Jonathan wanted to infuse and say that let us, stop the fuel subsidy payment. I remember they occupied the street at the time. Well, from 2012, which was 141 naira, it dropped to 97 naira. And then in 2015, from 97, it also dropped to 87 naira. Then 2016, 87 naira to 145. In 2015 to 2023, 87 naira to 195 per litre. Now, during the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 2023, from now 195 naira to 557 naira, and still in 2023 from 557 naira to 617 naira. And by now, as you can tell, in 2024 we've had increment almost 3 times in the whole deregulation mantra. That was basically what it was. We're deregulating, so the NNPCL will no longer be the one to determine the price of petrol, because we now have the market being deregulated. So it now based on how the marketers are able to purchase a product that they will sell. That's basically what we're told. Now, the question is, with all of this, where is the subsidy removal money? Where is the money going? What did they use the money to do? I mean, if you say that from 2023, when you came on board, precisely June, right, when fuel subsidy elapsed, and then of course basically we now went on to the fact that the market has been deregulated, no more subsidy, we're paying as it is. What have you used the money to do? What palliative measure have been implemented to curtail the subsidy removal impact? Even the loans that were borrowed to actually curtail the impact of subsidy removal. I remember the World Bank gave the administration money to cushion the effect of the subsidy removal. So what exactly happened? Well, I want us to listen to this documentary as fast as we can. Hopefully we're able to cover a couple of issues. And then after we do that, I would also like you to also listen to Aisha Yesufu on a very recent podcast where she was able to give explanations as to certain things. She made some declarations in that particular podcast. So please pardon me, I'm going to have to put this on speaker so that we can hear adequately what this is all about. All right?
National television on the day of his inauguration. This is a 3-part series exposing the corruption, state capture, and lies of the APC government in the past 9 years in terms of the downstream sector of the petroleum industry. Although not peculiar to this government, fuel subsidies have been in existence since the 1970s.
Okay, hold on. I'm trying to do something now. Just hold on.
In 1977, fuel subsidies became institutionalized, where the Price Control Act became law. Military dictators installed subsidies. By 1999, removing subsidies became a Herculean task, and it was the only way to proper deregulation of the downstream sector. Let me show you fuel prices between 1999 and 2024. Walk with me as I show you the various methods Nigeria meets its fuel demand. The first one, refineries. We all know they are non-existent. The second one is an open account system. This system ended in 2011. This system allowed the NNPC, through its subsidiary, the PPMC, import products using traders. The traders deliver the products to PPMC in exchange for cash. The third one, the PPRA permits, where marketers under the PPRA or with a PPRA license would import products into the country and sell them to wholesalers and retailers. The fourth method Nigeria meets its fuel demand is through NNPC crude swaps. NNPC crude swaps were reintroduced in 2010 as a barter system, where NNPC barters crude for petroleum products rather than cash. By 2010, NNPC had accrued debt of over $3 billion from contracts on the open account system and from PPPRA permits. Some of these contracts were over 3 years long, and NNPC had not met its obligation. So NNPC turned to crude swaps. The Jonathan government was not the first to use swaps. Abacha had used swaps, Babangida had used swaps, Buhari had used swaps during their military era. The NNPC at the time had two swap deals, the RPEA and the OPA. The RPEA is the Refined Product Exchange Agreement and the OPA is the Offshore Processing Agreement. These were the two swap deals employed by the NNPC between 2010 to 2015. When the Buhari administration entered in 2015, things changed. Before I talk about the Buhari administration, let me speak about something that's worthy of note. Jonathan in 2011 had sought to remove fuel subsidies, but was heavily resisted by some of the people in power today. Jonathan's argument was simple and genuine. He believed that subsidy was the biggest cesspool of corruption. He sold his ideas in Nigeria and in diaspora. He had several town hall meetings to explain to stakeholders the long-term effect of subsidies on our economy. He was heavily resisted by the subsidy mafia and people in government today. In 2024, Nigerians are buying petroleum products at over 1,000 naira. Another thing worthy of note is to mention trading companies that were involved in RPEA and OPA contracts between 2010 and 2014. Trading companies with RPEA and OPA contracts were Duke Oil, UK, Duke Oil, Panama, Talivaras, ITO, Ontario Trading NSA. For OPA agreements between 2010 and 2015, we had Niger Med, SIR, the Ivorian Refinery, Sahara Energy, and ITO again. It is important to note most of these trading companies. There were more than 43 trading companies within this period trading crude for Nigeria, and things changed in 2015. Most of the RPA and OPA agreements are joint ventures with trading companies outside the country, Switzerland-based traders like Trafigura, Vital, Mercury. A 2012 presidential task force described trading subsidiaries that are working for NNPC, especially Duke Oil, Panama, Duke Oil, UK, as operational and financial black boxes. As we enter into 2015, Buhari enters into the picture. He comes in as the anti-corruption lord, the one who will turn around Nigeria and make sure he plugs the holes in every area where there is corruption in the country. But this is the exact opposite. Buhari comes in and retains trading subsidiaries like Duke Oil. Now let me explain what Duke Oil has been doing. Duke Oil was set up in the 1980s. It is not a new company. The NNPC set up Duke Oil in the 1980s. These NNPC trading subsidiaries do not declare their earnings, and they have offshore accounts in Panama, London, and some in the Seychelles. These companies are the same companies Buhari retained. In fact, Duke Oil Panama was the top trading subsidiary for NNPC during Buhari's time. As Buhari steps into power, we notice a few trends. The president becomes the Minister of Petroleum, overseeing the functions of NNPC and the subsidiaries, and the corrupt regime that followed. NNPC and its subsidiaries ran an opaque administration with little or no public information. We noticed again that NNPC became the sole importer of petroleum and other allied products. Claims of subsidy was paid to NNPC. NNPC continued crude swaps, but quickly renamed them DSDPs. DSDP is direct sale, direct product, and it was just a simple swap deal. In the swap deal, NNPC claimed it was going to be dealing directly with refineries that had products and no more trading subsidiaries. But in 2016, NNPC approved over 18 trading subsidiaries to lift crude and swap. By 2017, that number had increased to 34. Marketers were unable to have access to foreign exchange to buy their products. This was an intentional move between the government and the NNPC, as these marketers sold their assets and moved out of the sector. The Nigerian government from 2015 till date has been operating as a regulator and operator in the downstream sector. basically responsible for importing PMS and dictating the term of sale to lower marketers. The idea that the government was paying subsidies for crude swap was a criminal concept masterminded by the Buhari administration. No one pays subsidy on a crude swap. This was an intentional move by the APC government to perpetually increase price at will with no recourse to economic parameters. Take for example, within the period of 2015 to 2019, oil was ranging at about $35 to $65, and it never reflected on the pump price of petroleum because it was a rigged system. If the NNPC claims to have been paying subsidy within this period, the NNPC should then produce a comprehensive list of marketers it pays subsidy to in the last 9 years. There is no such list available for public consumption. Despite the incessant fall and rise of the price of crude oil in the world, the price of PMS in Nigeria remained relatively stable, with a slight increase in 8 years, which only reflects the massive corruption, as crude swaps only involves a product barter. No cash, just products exchanging hands. The Nigerian government therefore willingly pushed extra cost on the populace while fleecing Nigerians for 9 years. It is only lately that NNPC admitted to being the sole importer of PMS for the past 9 years in Nigeria.
In the last 8 or 9 years, this company, even corporation as it were, has not paid anybody a dime or 1 naira as subsidy. No one has been paid kobo by NNPC as in the name of subsidy. That means no marketer has received money from us by way of subsidy. What has been happening is that we've been importing PMS, landing at a certain price, at a cost price, and government is telling us to sell it at half price. So the delta between that landed price and the half price is what we call shortfall, or call it subsidy. And the deal is between Federation and ourselves to reconcile, and sometimes they give us money, sometimes we do net ups. So there is no money exchanging hands to any marketer or anybody in the name of subsidy.
So that's quite an interesting revelation there. That was a documentary that was compiled by Oxygen Commission. It's all over X. You can also check it out on YouTube as well. I needed us to actually have an understanding, a basic understanding of what is going on. And I'm sure you just listened to Umar Isa Aliyah, the Chief Financial Officer, NNPC Limited. So if there is no subsidy payment paid to the marketers or anything, where is the money going? Where is the money? There is no accountability. I'm sure you heard the breakdown right there. There is no accountability. Where is the money going? If you could just hear the revelation given right now, right, by Umar Isa Aliyah, that's a Chief Financial Officer, NNPC Limited. So where is the supposed, if they've removed subsidy, right, in order to have whatever. So all the while they said they've been paying subsidy, where is the money? If NNPC if they're telling us right now that there was no subsidy payment, rather it's just like a deal between the federal government and the marketers or the lifters. So where is the money going? Again, like I said, the conversation today is about you. How are you coping? How are you faring? I would also like us to listen to Aisha Yesufu in light of the recent situation ongoing within the polity. She actually made quite a lot in terms of expose with a very recent podcast that she actually had with Sheun Okimbaloye. Now, it was not on their television station rather, but it was a podcast that she had with Sheun, and she reeled out quite a lot there. So in other words, you're going to be hearing Sheun's voice coming in terms of questioning. So I want us to pay attention to the conversation, and afterwards, definitely, I'll now start speaking with my analysts. Obviously, they'll help us to diverse this issue better.
You are a citizen of Nigeria and you reside here.
Nigeria, I reside here. Then we have an illegitimate president, someone who rigged his way into office. It's like if there's a military coup, are you going to sit down and accept that, oh, you have a president because someone, there was a military coup?
But
this is a political coup.
You cannot say that because you do not have evidence.
Aisha Yesufu can and have said that Nigeria does not have a president. What we have is someone who rigged his way into office, who is illegitimately occupying
the court does not agree with your position.
The court that has been captured can do whatever it wants to do, and that's why there's no respect for it. And that's why you have governors, coming out to thank Tinubu when the judgment goes their way. So the fact that we have a captured judiciary and whatever, Aisha Yesufu, and I say it without mincing word, I don't put water for my mouth. There's no precedent in Nigeria.
There's a president, Bola Tinubu, factually.
The former governor of Lagos State, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, yes, is illegitimately occupying an office he shouldn't. And I've said it. You have your opinion, should I have my own? So why does he have to?
No, there is a fact. There's a fact. There is an opinion.
No, then go ahead with your own fact. This is mine. This is my reality, and I'm telling you, Nigeria doesn't have.
Why is it difficult for you to accept that?
Why should I accept
in the next 4 years?
Hold on, Sheun. Someone comes to my house, steals my car, take it away, repaints it, and you're telling me that I have to accept it because it's been repainted and you have gotten papers for it.
You cannot prove that.
The proven or not the proven, that's not the point. This is what I'm saying to you, Sheun. This is Aisha telling you that Nigeria does not have a president. If you, Sheun, believes that Nigeria has a president, go ahead. Who is stopping you?
In this situation,
it's about the process. If the process was free, fair, and credible, there was nothing to do with IREV and whatever, and the result came out the way the result is today, then everybody has to accept it. Whoever is voted in, if Nigeria decide to vote a goat as president, we always call that person the president. But when someone isn't voted for and the people rig their way in there, we must get to a place whereby political coup is taking the same way as military coup. We cannot have people come in, subvert the system. The result must not justify the means. No, it doesn't, because that's what we just had in Edo State.
So if you say the election in 2023 was rigged, so the candidates you worked for, were those votes also rigged in his favor?
No, it wasn't.
So,
and I will tell you how it goes.
So the vote for Peter Obi was legitimate, but the ones in the same breath for the other candidate, Atiku and Tinubu, were rigged. Is that your position?
So let me tell you, there was some rigging. Let me correct that. In Lagos, the margin with which he won was way more than what he was given. In Jos, in Plateau State, the same thing. We have Benue, a lot of those places. And let me tell you, it's not about whether I worked for or I did not work for. There's nothing like work for. I don't work for anyone. I work with people. And by the grace of God, I'm not going to work for anyone. I'll work with you, not for you.
So you didn't work with Peter? I mean,
I worked with him.
You didn't work
for him.
So you didn't get paid for what?
Why should I get paid? Who the heck has the money to pay me?
No, people get paid for working in the president. Even in the US, people
can. I have a big mouth, physically and figuratively, and I love to use my big mouth. And so because of that, I don't collect no dime from nobody. My NGO, I use my money. Every this thing I've been part of, movement or whatever, I spend my own money. I don't touch nobody's money.
Because you know the question. There are issues being raised about the campaign funding.
We'll get to that,
because there are those even pointing accusing finger that some of you have not been transparent enough into the funds that were put into your hands in that campaign.
People have said.
So when you say you did not benefit at all, there are those who will be in the corner and be laughing and say, "Oh, Aisha,
they
please."
can laugh, and you know what? And that's why I have a very huge mouth. And I say to them, "Come out anywhere that Aisha has done anything of wrongdoing, bring it out." More Aisha Yesufu, I will call myself out. You know what they call process? One of the things that Nigerians don't understand is this thing about people standing and following the due process. And that's exactly what I did. Before we get there, let me go back to what I was saying to you, Sheun. On the issue of the fact that there was no transparency, IREV on the day of election, let's not forget February 25th, all of a sudden it didn't work. There were 3 elections on a particular day, and it didn't work for one of them, which was the presidency. Every result could be put in for the same place, the same time, everything for House of Representatives, for Senate, and all of that. And then you came to presidency, it wasn't working. You've seen what Rivers State have continuously said right now, where with the accusations going on, with the fight between Wike and Fubara going on, the people who helped in rigging that election coming out to say, this is what they do. Haven't you seen any of those videos? They've come out to say, this is how they rigged the election. For me, the issue is not whether who becomes the president, right? If Nigerians had actually voted for the former governor of Lagos, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and he got there, well, you say that's what the people's choice is all about, and that's the beauty of democracy. People do whatever it is that their choice is their choice and their vote to do that. But that wasn't what they did. There was a rigging, and we have a situation here that should worry every one of us. The fact that the burden of proof is not on INEC, that is conducting. And you've seen people who have taken us back. Our democracy has gone back to pre-Yaradua days with all the things. Having said that, coming back to the campaign funds.
Just for a moment before you go there.
Okay.
So, are you so
All right, you just listened to Aisha Yesufu there. That was quite the say during a particular interview on a podcast with Shane Okinbali, where she kept insisting that she doesn't recognize our president as her president. And she also talked about the process that brought him up. There's quite a lot in that particular conversation. Now, there's a reason why I'm playing all of this, because I want us to have a perspective to where the conversation is heading. Now, let me tell you something. Do you know that Governor Sim Fubara may be in a little quagmire? You recall that on Friday, the Court of Appeal had actually disclosed that the budget presentation that Fubara did with those four lawmakers, the court actually said that it was unconstitutional and is illegal. Well, the appeal court has nullified the 2024 reverse budget. And of course, he might have walked into great danger as the Abuja division of the appeal court upheld the judgment of a federal high court which voided the Rivers State 2024 budget passed by 5 members of the State House of Assembly. Now, the judgment was silent on the fate of the Martin Amawule-led 27 members of the State House of Assembly. The state government also clarified that the judgment did not reinstate the embattled lawmakers by any stretch of imagination. So those lawmakers have not been actually reinstated. So let us have that perspective on ground, okay? But the latest development, which seemed to have handed the Martin Amawule-led faction some sort of legitimacy, which of course is the travels of Fubara, might have started afresh as the lawmakers are likely to toy again with the idea of impeachment. So right now, the 800 billion naira that was stipulated to the Rivers State government, which of course the appeal court has eventually disclosed that at this time that budget is nullified. So what then happens? Precisely. What then happens in that regard? Like I already told you, I have 2 guests who I will be speaking with today on the Political Spotlight. One of such persons is Barrister Darlington Agumor. He is a political, national and social affairs commentator. And of course, he'll be giving us his perspective on some of the conversations that we have had. All right. Also, I'm expecting to be joined via the telephone as well with Mr. Elvis Elimehele, who is a political, national and social affairs commentator too. These diverse perspectives will help us put things in context. So basically, while I try to contact them, just stay tuned. It's currently 90.3 FM, Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. All right, Barrister Darlington, good evening and welcome to the Political Spotlight.
Good evening, Esther. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you so much. Mr. Elvis Elimehele, good evening and welcome to the Political Spotlight.
Good evening, Esther. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Can you speak a little bit louder? Can you hear me?
I can hear you absolutely clear.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Elvis. Thank you for joining me on the Political Spotlight this evening. Barrister Darlington, let me start off with you. I'm sure you heard what Aisha Yesufu said. I'm sure you also heard the documentary that I played earlier. And the question now is, Nigerians are barely coping with the current situation. Last week, a particular presenter walked out on set when they were talking about the dire circumstances that we're currently going through. What's your take on what you have just heard?
Esther, I am not shocked.
You're not shocked? Why?
Because these are things that you already know. Remember, on the 29th of May, 2023. I was in that studio with you when Tinubu read his inaugural speech, where he said the subsidy is gone. I wish you can play what I said that day. I made the analysis. I told you that in the public there was no subsidy, that this thing is a fraud and it will not fly. I said it that day. Unfortunately, most gullible Nigerians, we are clapping. We are clapping. Eh? I was expecting those people to come now and ask Tinubu, all the things you promised us that this subsidy will do for us, where are they? You can imagine that the Buhari started this thing. He started this fraud at NNPC, and Tinubu came in and want to sustain it. Thank God I'm not the one saying this is now. But these are things I already know, and I've said it in my own way. Imagine if Nigerians have woken up and realized that their mind has been captured, their destiny has been captured, their life has been captured. This is no longer state capture. Everything about Nigeria has been taken away from them. Unfortunately, some people are still so psychopathic and so gullible that they are not even seeing the bigger picture. Esther, there is trouble coming. With what people have done, please tell me, what is the hope of Nigeria today? How can you going to make out a decent living under this condition? So what you are hearing now, where will the money come for any development to come in? Because in times they tell you there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and I keep saying it, there is no tunnel at all. There is no tunnel. It is only when you have a tunnel that you start looking for the light inside it. There is no tunnel. If there is, let somebody show me. These are the things you are talking about that people don't want to listen. It will be difficult for you to give what you don't have. It can never happen. Enter, it can never happen. All along, we have been living with the fraud, deceit, lies. And that is what Lagos Ibadan Press is package for us. Today, the chicken has come home to roost. Let somebody come and tell me again that Tinubu is a master strategist. He's the only one who knows about politics. He's the only one who have the master key to do everything. Let somebody, where are the Lagos Ibadan Press who package it for us? Where are they now? Where are they? They should come out and defend him again.
Mr. Elvis,
lies can run for too long. One day, truth will catch up with it.
All right, Barrister, just stay on the line. Mr. Elvis Alimehela, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm with you, Esther. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Now, the president's wife has said that Nigerians should not blame her husband. Her husband is not the one responsible for what Nigerians are currently experiencing. The stifling economic situation, her husband is not responsible for it. So they shouldn't blame her husband. She had also mentioned that there are some youth that are quite lazy. They should go and work. Now we have a Godswill Akpabio, the Senate president, telling Nigerians not to dwell on the increase in fuel price. And this is what he said. He said that when he was disclosing to State House correspondents, he said that at some point they will step in, all right, when the need arises. I want to quote what he says. So at the beginning, it may seem to be increasing, but I believe strongly that with the production from Dangote refinery and then the other refineries, when they become functional, and the fact that it is now open to all to bring in products into the country, I can assure you that we may not even see higher pump prices. So please, let's not dwell in the increase in pump price. We will assess it, and if there is a need for us to intervene, we will intervene. That's basically what he said. So he's literally telling us right now that the need has not arisen for the Senate to intervene. And some persons will ask the question. The National Assembly, the legislators, they are the bedrock of our democracy. If that particular aspect of our democracy is questioned, what then happens?
Well, it's very unfortunate, Esther, that we are here from the First Lady of the Nation, Mrs. Oluremi Tinubu. You know, some time ago, she told Nigerians that the husband was rich enough and that the husband was not going to touch Nigerian money before the swearing in of the husband. Unfortunately, what we are now is different from what she has told us. They are saying the president is using Nigerian money to buy new jets, buying yours and moving all over. So let me address this one she just told us that the husband Nigeria problem. I mean, I don't even know how to juxtapose that, because even if the husband is not the problem of Nigeria, not the problem to this situation we are going through now in this nation, one would have expected that every job you ask for, it means you have a solution for that job. That's why you are employed into that job. Is it not that?
True.
That's why you're in that studio, because you could do the job. That's why you were employed and you are doing the job. He asked for this job of the presidency of this nation, knowing fully well that this nation has problems. Quite agree. And what effort has he made since he came in to accelerate the problems on ground? Rather, he has even entrenched it that today Nigerians are even regretting. That even the Buhari we all rejected, we are even saying Buhari is better now. Is it not a laughing thing? He asked for the job and he cannot find solution to the extent of the job he asked for, which means it's a failure. So if the wife is defending him, I don't know on what ground he's defending him. He makes 600 naira a liter. It's 1,000 plus. He makes Nigeria could still manage to buy bag of rice at 20,000 naira to 40,000 naira. So there is a plus.
Hello, Mr. Elvis. Can you hear me? Hello?
Sorry.
Mr. Elvis, okay. Hello? Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you went off for a while there. Continue, please.
Like I said, on the fuel subsidy, I said the haste was so much. He has not even entered the office to know what is on ground in the office. Then, before you have 25 Nigerians that, okay, yeah, there is no budget, but they are doing supplementary budget now for them. You see supplementary budget coming up, to reach them there, to protect their ego. Why did he come up with supplementary budget between that May, June to December, and even before the new budget of 2024 would have come in, and begin to sensitize Nigerians that, okay, I'm going to remove fuel subsidy in 2024 during my 1 year anniversary. But before then, that's so much to put in place. This CNG that has become a slogan in Nigeria now, within that 1 year, we begin to roll out, the roadmap for CNG buses and CNG cars.
Mr. Elvis, even that CNG buses and cars, a lot of Nigerians don't trust the process because they feel it's not safe. They are not even adopting that.
Yes, that's another settle of investor. Then you begin to talk of where to refuel if you are even driving a CNG car or a bus. Nothing of that nature was done. Then you also begin to talk of how to give the civil servants good remuneration. And here Nigerians could also begin to have good transit system that could move them from one state to another. Then you also think of how to strengthen the rail system that they have started. All this one should have happened within this 1 year before anybody could talk of removing the fuel subsidy. Knowing fully well the importance of petroleum products to Nigeria and Nigerians. Almost all the economy, the whole economy of this sector rests on it. But on May 29th, you just, blatantly said subsidy is gone. And that's where we are. There was nothing on ground. So if not for any of that thing, I think the wife should go and play back that case. Where the husband gave that announcement on that May 29th telling that subsidy is gone, that is where Nigerian problem began from. So if she starts giving the husband from what we are going through, it's a big shame. Again, floating the naira and with other currencies, knowing fully well that we don't even have any other products that we export. It's only this petroleum product, and crude oil. And even the crude oil, we can't even meet our OPEC quota. So he now came in and put the naira with other currencies of the world that are stronger. Then the problem, again, catapulted to where we are now. But I'm surprised the wife is coming to say all this. But we are not fools and we cannot be gagged.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Elvis Salim Hele. Barrister Darlington, are you still with us?
I am listening.
All right, Barrister Darlington. So, in reaction to the current economic situation, the stifling hardship, apparently, Rotimi Amechi, former governor of Rivers State and former transportation minister, said he's angry, actually, that Nigerians are not protesting. And when he made that statement, a lot of Nigerians responded and said, waiting stop you from going to main road to go and protest. We had August protests 1 to 10. We also had the October 1 protest. We no see you. So what stops you from going out to protest? Are you waiting for Nigerians to protest? Well, because of that particular statement, the Minister of Defense, Dr. Bello Mohammed Matawale, has issued a stern warning to Rotimi Amechi after the former governor called on Nigerians to take to the streets over the dire troubling state of the nation. Now, based on that reaction right now, or based on that expression, Matawale accused him of inciting violence and unrest amidst and amongst the Nigerian populace. So Nigerians now went ahead to say, is that the reason why during the recent protests we did not see major political party opponents, that is the opposition political party members, being actively on the street to participate in the protests? Because in 2012, I remember the current president, former Minister of Information Lai Mohammed, John Oyegun, that time he was the APC chairman, right? They were all on the streets at the time protesting against Jonathan's intention to remove fuel subsidy that occupied Nigeria in 2012. So basically, do you think this warning, right, from the defense minister is the reason why we just hear them talk on X? Lament on X, put up a tweet, put up a notification, but don't actively protest?
Yes, this is part of the state capture we are talking about. Whatever APC does should be accepted as coming from God. As far as APC is concerned, you should not say anything against them. Because they know how they came into office. They know how they came into office. All the things they did against the PDP and Jonathan, they wouldn't want anybody to show it or to reply them. That is the problem here. As for Amechi, I don't have any good thing to say about him. Amechi is even worse than the people he's talking about because he was one of them. Esther, he was one of them. Amechi committed all the infractions you can when he was Minister of Transport. So what is he saying now? You mean if we start the process, we should spare him or what? What is he trying to do? All of them have the same modus operandi. They have the same way of capturing the mind of Nigerians. First of all, they will start with activism. They will start preaching to you how they love you, how the government in power have made your life worse. And you think that they have your interest at heart. Somebody was telling you during the campaign, let the poor breach. And people said, you see, he's coming to do good. He does not even like what his party is doing to us. You see, that's why he said that thing. He will come and do well. Yes, let's give him a chance. Now that he has entered office, instead of allowing us to breathe, he's now trying to strangulate us. You can imagine. Where are those who supported this thing? Of course, some of us who have been very insistent that this thing is a fraud, this thing is deceit. They claim that we don't love APC, we don't love Tinubu. Mention anything he has done right since he came into office. Before that he said the Buhari should allow them to breathe. What is he doing to those people now? Esther, what is he doing to them now? It has moved from allowing them to breathe to killing them. Because look at how many people that have died under Tinubu's administration. Either from hunger or from terrorism or from kidnapping. Look at how many people that have died under his watch. And this is somebody who was preaching, allow the poor to breathe. Allow the poor to breathe. And you think he's coming to do well for you. It's not possible. That is why he said that you cannot give what you don't have. Anybody without good intention can never have good intention. Especially when you have grown up with this type of attitude. I was listening to that woman, Aisha. Yes, the woman was making a point. Esther, there is no way a deceitful man can give you something good. Go and check. In the US, before you can become their president, they will go back to when you were born, from your infancy, and start tracing your character, your history, everything about you. If they discover one single thing, bad about you, you will never become American president. Go and check. Go and check. But here, I think we brought up all the allegations against Tinubu, but they say, hey, let's move on, let's move on. Is that not why we are where we are today? No, is that not? You imagine if this man were to be to come from the US, would he become a chairman of a local government in the US, not to talk of governor? Well, look at what they told us here. How can such a person with such a character, with such behavior, with such a record in the past, how can he be a good president for government? How? In what way? How can you? Can a snake become short all of a sudden? Look at the revelation, and he's the Minister of Petroleum. Look at the level of fraud going on under his watch, and yet he will come every day and be reading speeches to us that there is light at the end of the tunnel. And I said it, there is no tunnel. There is no tunnel. Not to talk of light.
Mr. Elvis.
With what we are hearing now, Esther, tell me where is the tunnel? Tell me where is the tunnel? Show me the tunnel.
We're inside the tunnel, Noni. We're inside the tunnel. Mr. Elvis, this next question is for you. Before the president was elected, he promised to change the economic fortune of Nigeria using Lagos, where he governed for 8 years, as a reference. Now, one would have expected him to hit the ground running in this area, especially as his predecessor's scorecard in managing the economy was generally adjudged a failure by major media organizations. Now, in more than 1 year of his administration, a lot of Nigerians feel that he has not only failed to fare better than Buhari, but worse, he also seems to have a supposed trial and error economic policies. A couple of persons consider it to be a directionless economic decision. Are you of the same line of thoughts? Are you of the same perception?
Well, it has proved itself now that there is no direction with his economic policy. Esther, let me tell you, one of the first mistakes that he made was from his cabinet. He practically moved his cabinet, his Lagos cabinet of 1999 to 2007 to Abuja, knowing fully well that the economy of Lagos is not the economy of Nigeria. We're talking of 36 states, and Lagos is just one of the states in Nigeria. So when people were like, oh, he picked the best brain and turned Lagos around. Some of us live in Lagos. We know the truth about the so-called turning Lagos around. You and I can attest to that today. Unfortunately, too, most of these ministers that he moved from Lagos, go and ask since he left office in 2007, what have they been doing? Have you heard of them? Some of them went and became analog. They don't even know what was actually going on in the policy and even the economic system of the nation. But he went and, republished them and brought them to come and manage the economy of the whole country. These are people who have been dormant over the years after they left government. Then here we are now. They don't even know the next stage that they are going to take the economy to. That's what we are saying. Some of them should have been able to advise him when those kind of draconian laws were being made, for a software office is gone that, no, let's upset that. Let's study the economy. I remembered in 1999 when President Olusegun Obasanjo won the election, when General Abdulsalam Abubakar was the head of state who handed over to him. When I read Accidental Public Servant written by El-Rufai, I thought that El-Rufai was one of those that were members of Abdulsalam's economic team. Then the economic team invited the new president that was elected, that's President Obasanjo, to bring him on the way forward regarding Nigeria's economy. If you read that his book, you understand what I'm telling you now.
Yes.
El-Rufai told Obasanjo then that, Nigeria's economy is practically centered around petroleum trust fund today, PTS, as it was called then. And that if you come in, they don't want you to, stop PTS. Let it continue. PTS will do so many things, carrying roads, building hostels for higher institutions and hospitals, etc. They started boosting of that and how he was going to step in and take over so that the economy will not, shut down.
But Mr. Elvis, let's not derail. Experts have argued, right, that the administration's unpredictable approach to policy making could introduce policy uncertainty, which makes it difficult for Nigerians to make economic conditions. There are some investors, some persons who have the money to invest, but they don't know what would come up tomorrow. They don't know what the CBN will come up with. They don't know what the monetary exchange rate is going to be like. They don't know what devaluation method will take place. So there is skepticism in investing. Do you think that the president understands this? That's one. Two, another thing is the fact that a couple of Nigerians believe that those who are around the president, that is his inner circle, are not letting him know the reality on ground. They're basically possibly acting as sycophants, telling him that most of the policies he's implementing are actually working when reality is the opposite. So is there a possibility that the president does not know the actual reality of the average Nigerian on the street struggling to survive? Or is it possible that those who are around him are literally deluding him on the current circumstances? In a very short while, what's your take on that?
100%. If those around him are giving him false information about what is going on in Nigeria. Ali Udume said this, that even at his level, a senior senator wanting to reach the president, as he was not able to reach the president. Then he came out to the press and said the president is not aware of what is going on because of the psychopaths around him. What happened to him? And he didn't have to get the truth. They took him out of being the chief whip of the Senate. So what is going on? Because the people within do not know how to manage the economy. They don't even know where the economy is driving towards. So they are shielding the people from reaching the president. And even the president himself has not been able to put his ear down to know what Nigerians are feeling. For instance, this one that he traveled almost is going to 2 weeks now in left Nigeria now, and the fuel was just increased on Wednesday again. He's there. Is that how he's going to know what is going on with Nigeria? He will not know. So the circumstances around him are so many, and these are the boys he brought from Lagos into Aso Rock. These are the issues there. These are the same boys that they thought that he was going to use to turn around the economy. That was his youth Lagos. So the president is not just aware of what is going on. That's why we are seeing their profligacy, we are seeing the kind of lifestyle they are living under this same economy that Nigerians cannot eat. Nigeria cannot feed themselves. So that's to tell you that there are two worlds in this nation now. Those in Aso Rock are living in a very different world from those of us who are living outside Aso Rock. That's why this protest we are seeing that 7th to 10th of August and this fearless October 1st protest are coming up because we want to let the ruling class know that we are not finding it easy. But unfortunately, they are going to put their men and soldiers everywhere not to allow them to air our grievances before them.
All right. Barrister Darlington, are you still with me, please?
I am.
Okay, so Nigerians are calling the president T-Pain. I don't know if you know who T-Pain is. T-Pain is an American musician, right? Very popular hip-hop artist. And a couple of people will be wondering why T-Pain is trending in Nigeria. They would have wondered, did he release an album? Is there something? But the meaning of that name means President Tinubu Pain. And in reaction to that, the presidency has actually told Nigerians to stop referring to President Tinubu as T-Pain, but rather we saw a response to that name as T-Gain, meaning that there is a new process on ground whereby some Nigerians will be given an opportunity to learn vocational skills and make money from it. Now, the question is this: do you think Nigerians are not reactionary enough? Do you think that because they know how to just adapt and adjust, that is the reason why the government feels they can implement any policy anytime and nothing will happen? What's your take on that?
Exactly. It is because we have been sleeping on our rights, and that's what I've been advocating. Because that was how other citizens in other countries held their government accountable. Esther, nobody in the U.S., whether you're president or governor, will try 1/4 of what these people are doing to us here and see the men in office. Americans will go and chase him out of office. Ordinary South Africa here that we liberated from apartheid yesterday. Look at what they did to Jacob Zuma. They went there and dragged him out of office just because he's overspent his body by $16 million. Can you imagine? With that kind of development, please, can it ever happen here in Nigeria? That is what I'm telling you. Nigerians are sleeping on their own right. And that was because they have been hypnotized. Esther, we are under every dose of hypnotism. I don't believe that this thing is ordinary because I never dreamed that in my wildest dream this kind of thing can happen to Nigeria and everybody's quiet. Because under Jonathan, this man did not even do 1/4 of what people are doing and everybody's quiet. When they went to Ojota Freedom Square, what was wrong? What did Jonathan do wrong? He removed fuel subsidy. Just once. So now these people in office are removed it more than 4 times. More than 4 times. And nobody is saying anything. Are you telling me it's ordinary? Nigerians are sleeping on their own right. The military junta, Babangida and Abada, they didn't do this. In fact, they didn't go 1/4. Before Lagos Ibadan Press went into jungle journalism. They went into jungle journalism and was screaming headline every day about the evils of Babangida and Abada. But look at what is going on now. The same press has kept quiet. All of them are sleeping now. They are not speaking from both sides of their mouth. What does that tell you? Is either they have been bought over, or they are compromised, or they are under hypnotism. That's it. If not, why is the press not reacting the same way they reacted against the military? We have something worse than the military on our hands now, and nobody is talking. What does that tell you? You are sleeping on your right, that's all. Nothing else. You have been hypnotized and you don't want to accept it. PDP did not do 1/4 of what these people are doing in office. And you saw how they were harassing even Jonathan in office. They were harassing him in office. And the man kept his cool. So what do you call it? Nigerians are sleeping in their rights. Nobody is talking again. Nobody. The only opposition we have today is APC. APC is their own opposition. All the opposition, they have been made to go into comatose. Because if they talk, it becomes a treasonable felony. Don't let any of them open their mouth. You will see what will happen. So the only opposition we have in Nigeria is APC. That's all. All they did when they were in opposition, nobody wants to remind them or remember for them. No. If you try it, you don't want the progress of this country. So tell me how they could have done all these things and nobody is talking. Imagine if APC were to be in opposition. Just imagine. Just imagine if APC were to be in office and Nigeria is like this. Imagine what they would have done. And yet nobody wants to talk. So we have told our right. In fact, more is coming. By 2025, they are told you they will increase this fuel, and Nigerians will buy it and keep quiet. Nobody will protest. Nobody. Nobody will protest. When Jonathan just removed it at 145 naira per liter, you saw what happened at Ojota Freedom Square. Now it is 1,000 plus, and yet nobody is talking. So what makes you think that they will not increase it again? Experts are telling you in today's paper that it will decrease again. Experts are telling you that with the way things are, this thing will go up again.
Yes, before December.
When they did it the first time, second time, third time, fourth time, and you do not talk, what makes you think that we're going to do the 5th time and the 6th time? And meanwhile, the money is going into somebody's pocket too. Esther, they are not using it to better your life. The money is going into somebody's pocket. At least we had it now from the people in that industry who know better. They have told us the real secret, but still nobody will say anything. Esther, nobody will talk. By the time this thing is down, the chiefs are done about this fuel issue.
Yes.
Somebody will become richer than Nigeria. Go and mark my word.
Somebody will become richer than Nigeria.
Somebody will become richer than Nigeria. Quote me. Because look at the humongous amount of money. Every time subsidy. Yes, nobody knows who is collecting the subsidy. What does that tell you? Is the money going into the air? It's going into somebody's pocket. And somebody is taking it. And yet Nigerians kept quiet. It's okay. So I don't need to be told. We are really in a very deep mess. Deep mess. Because if your source of income has been hijacked and mortgaged by somebody, then where are you going to get the money to develop Nigeria? Answer me. Where? Even if you borrow money, are you not going to pay back? Where will you get the money to pay back? Because your main source of income is now in bondage. Yeah? It has been hijacked by both internal and external forces. So where will you get the money to develop your country? Look at other OPEC countries. Look at what they are doing to their country, to their people. What are you enjoying with this oil given to you by God? What are you enjoying with it? Somebody has just held it hostage. And he will never leave it unless something happens. If you think that these people that are holding this oil money in bondage, they will leave it for you, it's a lie. They will never release it to you. They will rather squeeze you until there is nothing to squeeze out. Then they will not go to the next person. That is their modus operandi. I asked several, say, these other people that are giving their people subsidy on almost everything, and their country is moving forward, how are they doing it? But here they will use the propaganda. Subsidy is killing Nigeria. Subsidy is the reason why you don't have good roads, you don't have hospital, you don't have school, and you bought that propaganda, you bought it, and you bought it. Nigerians bought it without asking them, hey, but this other country, they are giving subsidy now. Why are they not in the same shoe with us? Nobody will ask that question. Nobody. Up to today, we don't even know what you are subsidizing. We don't know. Esther, have anybody told you how much fuel you are subsidizing in a day?
No, nobody has told us. Nobody has said anything. Nobody's giving accountability. Nobody's revealing out any status reports. Nobody's saying anything.
That is the fraud. That's what I told you on the 29th of May, 2023. That is the fraud. Nobody will tell you. That's the fraud. Nonsense.
Barrister Darlington, please let's be mindful of the language we use here. All right, let's be very careful with it. But it's quite unfortunate because the situation has gotten to a point where it's heartbreaking, really. And I don't know in the next 2 months, which is like December, what's going to happen, because at this time there seems to be like a famine crisis. There is food, but food cannot be accessed because of how expensive it has become. Basic food items, staple foods are no longer available or affordable in major homes. Right now is 100. Usually it was 101, but now is 100. For some persons, some families have to do it in such a way that the parents eat little just so that the kids can survive. It's quite unfortunate in that regard. Mr. Elvis Ali Mahela, are you with us? Mr. Elvis, are you still with us?
I'm with you. I can hear you.
All right. There is a recent development with Allen Onyema, the CEO and founder of Air Peace, a Nigerian airline. He's been charged in superseding indictment with obstruction of justice for submitting false documents to the government in an effort to end an investigation of him that resulted in earlier charges of bank fraud and money laundering. Now, the airline's chief of administration and finance, whose name is Ejiro Gene Egaga, was also charged for participating in the obstruction scheme as well as the earlier bank fraud counts. Okay, now these cases represent continued commitment of the Drug Enforcement Administration to identify and hold accountable those who engaged in fraud and money laundering. Now, the thing is this: allegedly, Onyema and his accomplices allegedly fraudulently used the U.S. banking system in an effort to hide the source of their money. And this was made or reeled out by the Assistant Special Agent in charge, Liza Fontanet. Yes, she's the Assistant Special Agent in charge of the case, the Internal Revenue Service Criminal Investigation Atlanta Field Office. So according to what they're saying, the charges demonstrate the criticality of diligence and truth in criminal justice proceedings. And according to the U.S. Attorney Buchanan, the superseding indictment and other information presented in court Onyema, a Nigerian citizen and businessman who is the CEO and chairman of Air Peace, a Nigerian airline founded in 2013. Between 2010 and 2018, Onyema traveled frequently to Atlanta, where he opened several personal and business bank accounts. More than $44.9 million was allegedly transferred into his Atlanta-based accounts from foreign sources. Now, the question is, why is this coming out now? What happened? Because it was a thing of pride when Alan Onyema, indigenous, and I mean, you know how he has always come through whenever there are emergency cases and the federal government is not able to be reactionary to lift off Nigerians wherever it is they're staying. A couple of people have attributed this whole thing to tribal whatever. They've attached tribal sentiment to the whole ordeal. I want to know briefly what your take is here, and I'll also hear from Barrister Darlington before we open the phone lines.
Yeah, Esther, when I saw that story again came up today, I was shocked. Alan Onyema is one of Nigerians that I respect so much. He has been a Nigerian that very destabilized. He's not even after whether this is Igbo, Hausa, or Yoruba. You see all the rescue, he has rescued Nigerians, in some of these troubled regions of the world. And, and his profile is intimidating, to the world recently, of what he's doing in aviation, what he's doing. So I'm not surprised that, when this matter went down and it's coming up again, most of these international routes is promising that he's even talking about, opening an international route to the U.S. any moment from now. I mean, these are things that have to do with international policy.
Do you think it's because of his competitors? Because a couple of people feel like he had issue. There was, Festus Keyamo had to intervene when there was that's the UK route, right? I think there were certain routes that Alan Onyema was asking to be able to fly, and then we were talking about the fact that these airlines were trying to hold on to their monopolistic tendencies with the aviation industry, and that Alan Onyema being able to break through that rigidity could be one of the reasons why all of this is coming up. Do you think that's what the case is?
That's exactly what I was telling you now, that his profile has become, very intimidating to these monopolies that have, siphoned our Nigerians over the years in aviation system, in aviation industry. So somebody of this nature, when the mango tree has fruit that is right, stones will always come true. I'm not surprised that this matter has resurrected again, because we have seen that he has broken the monopoly in UK, London trip now, and it's working towards moving to America for the same issue. So these people are ready, and this is where I need Nigerian government now actually to play a role. International policy to economy now.
Okay.
They have to actually join in investigating and supporting this man Alan Onyema. Because there are most of their so-called businessmen over there. How many of them are clean? Let us now begin to use our own international policies as well. Especially, I have to even give it to the present Minister for Aviation. All the support he has been able to rally around some of the domestic airlines to make them viable. They should not back up from that, because these international communities are ready to make sure that their monopoly, in this aviation industry, what they have been enjoying over the years, they don't want another person to come in and know what is going on, because they don't even want the economy of other countries to thrive, because they enjoy giving us aid instead of us, being able to do what we're supposed to do for ourselves. So whatever is coming up, I think Nigerian government should be able to stand with Alan Onyema and make sure that this matter do not erode Air Peace off the air, because the number of persons that are working there today, the number of employment that are given to Nigerians, and many people that are seeking for him. So they should not come up with trumped up allegation or whatever charges, to take off Air Peace off the sky. Nigerians should be able to stand by their own and be able to get to the root of this matter and make sure that this man continue to work as he's working. His portal is intimidating to them. That's why most of these things are coming up, Esther. This is international politics at play.
All right. Barrister Darlington, beginning in approximately May 2016, Onyema, together with Egaga, allegedly used a series of export letters of credits to cause banks to transfer more than $20 million into Atlanta-based bank accounts controlled by Onyema. The letters of credit were purportedly to fund the purchase of 5 separate Boeing 737 passenger planes by Air Peace and were supported by documents such as purchase agreements, bills of sale, and appraisals. The documents purportedly the manager's identity to further the fraud. How do you think Onyema will get out of this?
Esther, anybody that has committed a crime anywhere in the world, other Nigerian outside, should go and face the music. They should investigate the matter thoroughly, and if there is any infraction committed by anybody, let the person face the music. I will only be angry with everybody who is involved in that matter if there is selection of justice or persecution. Because before Enyema's case, we had Halliburton. And you know all the individuals involved in Halliburton case.
Yes.
All of them are sitting pretty in Nigeria here. Whereas in the US, their own counterpart has been put to jail. That is on record. You know of an Abakari who was into drugs and money laundering. The US government requested for him officially from Nigerian government.
Well, this is so sad because they published damning details which revealed how the chief executive officer of Air Peace, Allen, allegedly used fake documents to swindle the Central Bank of Nigeria of dollars for foreign exchange. So,
you hear what I said? I said anywhere, either in Nigeria or outside, and I'm telling you that there are cases even worse than Onyema.
Okay.
Why are people not talking about it? That's my question. That's my anger here.
Okay.
Yes. Example is better than precepts. If we begin to treat people according to their behavior, maybe it will act as a deterrent to other people. But when you allow one criminal to get away, others will fall into his shoes and do the same thing. I was just telling you here, other people who have done worse cases, worse things, and yet we allowed it to fly. Please, Esther, are you telling me that the documents Atiku brought from CSU in Chicago University is not enough to put some people in jail? Tell me, after all, somebody who did the same thing in Tunisia is serving jail time now. Are you telling me that such a thing is not worthy for the Nigerian government to say, no, we cannot tolerate this? So if you can allow that to fly, why is that the issue here? Tell me, why is that the issue here? Is that particular offense, is it not worse than what you are accusing MPs of? Because we are talking of the highest office in the land. And you got it through that means. I mean, how do you define fraud and deceit? Let us start from the beginning now. Yeah, that's what we are saying here. If you are committed of anywhere, anybody, yes, there's the music. That has to clean up this society.
Right.
Why is the American government prosecuting Donald Trump today? Was it not because of what he did during the last election? So that no other presidential candidate will come and behave in such a manner. That has to clean up your society. You don't select who to prosecute and who to leave. You are not making it worse. You are messing up the fight against corruption, against criminality.
All right.
And nobody who is reasonable will say, yes, you have done well. Oh. When you are selecting those to prosecute and those to leave, you cannot make progress. You can't.
Well, Alan Oyema has responded to this, but I mean, if they've been able to expose a couple of details, this matter is still in court. Although their request, I think Alan Oyema is going to appeal this, and I'm sure he has his legal counsel to see how they can help him through. A lot of Nigerians have reacted. Okay.
Yes, you have to appeal because even Bajabi Amela, who is the chief of staff to Tinubu, he has been sentenced in the U.S. court for criminal conduct. Bajabi Amela, he has been sentenced. As the sitting there in Asoro, he's an ex-convict.
Barrister Darlington.
Officially.
Where did you get your document from? Where did you get this information from?
Let him challenge it. I said the U.S. court has sentenced him.
This is Barrister Darlington's reaction and statement comment. All right. Barrister Darlington, Barrister Darlington, just hold on.
Yes.
Mr. Elvis, let's look at the situation with IPOB. They have on Wednesday, right? They disclosed that they are fighting to liberate the southeast from Nigeria and actualize the independent state of Biafra. And this was reacting to a statement attributed to the Chief of Defense Staff, Christopher Musa, regarding its agitation. In a statement that was addressed to Musa and the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, Imal Powerful, that's IPOB spokesperson, said the group was formed to defend the interests of the Biafran people and to champion its peaceful exit from Igbo-phobic nation. That's what he said. So he's actually directing them to possibly leave them alone. And the Chief of Defense Staff has said that any community, any entity that strives to divide Nigeria, they will fight against it. I think that's basically where this reaction is coming from. So they're claiming the ignorance of everything. They're saying if the Nigerian government is actually on a murdering spree, and that what IPOB is trying to do is to protect its own people. Meanwhile, they're also telling the chief of the NSA, that's the National Security Advisor, that they are fighting legally, both locally and internationally, so that the effort of the Nigerian government to blackmail them through its officials, both through civilians and military, is an effort in futility. Do you think that's the truth?
Well, the fight for emancipation of the Biafra,
Yes.
is going to take a very long time.
Okay.
This matter started since the Civil War to where we are today. Nobody
Yes.
thought after the Civil War that anything like Biafra was going to come up again. But Biafra, for some years now, has come up and it's fell through.
Okay.
That is because of the injustice that these our brothers from the South, he kept on repeating that they have been marginalized and like ostracized from Nigeria, and this is correct. We have seen so much of such injustice, on our brothers from the South. So if this is going to come up or is going to be, I think it's going to take a long while. And the way it is being forced now, that's the only way I'm not happy about it. That now, because of IPOB, even their brothers and sisters from the Southeast who are going to enjoy the Biafra, even if they get independence later on in life, and I'm, facing persecution as a result of insecurity. If there is a way, more powerful and whoever that is involved with all this the IPOB matter, to safeguard their brothers and sisters, secure them, they should do that. It's not that they are connecting the people they say that they are fighting for. It is not a good one, Esther. I don't support of that. But
all right.
For the injustice that the nation have vented out on them, the corrections to start coming up. We talked about this thing, I think 2 weeks ago in the studio, Esther. When we talking about all the 3 arrows that were promised, restructuring, rehabilitation, and integration after the war, how most of them have been done by the government to the war ended in 1970 now. So if some of the things that are waking up some of these sleeping dogs again. So if these things are coming up, the government knows that they have the responsibility towards them. So all these responsibilities should not be aggravated with some other, inflammatory statements from the Chief of Defense Staff and all that. It should be a way that people should be integrated into the system, Nigeria as a nationhood, and everybody in Nigeria should enjoy the same tech as it goes around everybody. Like I was saying that day in the studio, that they need to also have a free space to make the geopolitical zone at least fit among the geopolitical zones of this nation. So all these things have to be coming up. Dialogue and meeting and resolving issues as expected. Then the crime which some people are hiding under IPOB to torment the Southeasterners, that should be taken off. If the injustice is taken care of, some people who now come off the crime cannot be fished out and punished appropriately. But for activists now, it's crazy. It's crazy because the people are still talking about marginalization, and you and I can see that so much. So I think the government should play down on inflammatory statements and begin to think of how to amend the already done wrong towards them so that peace can reign.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Elvis Elimehele. Barrister Darlington, what do you have to say in a minute so that we can take the phone call concerning the situation with IPOB's reaction to the Chief of Defense Staff and the NSA?
Esther,
Sir?
you see, it is said that when you want to hang a dog, you give it a bad name.
This is your phrase. You always use this
two,
phrase.
yeah. Hello?
I said this is your phrase. You always use this phrase.
Good. Because all the thing that is going on in the north, which everybody know, if you want to compare it to what IPOB is doing in the southeast, it's like two fighting in the southeast and then actual terrorism in the north. Please, where are you supposed to concentrate your efforts in order to stop? Where are you supposed to concentrate your efforts? You can imagine. We left the real problem of Nigeria and we are taking shadows. This idea of going to the UN to say that IPOB is killing military people in the southeast. Why are they there in the first place? Why are they there? All this thing that they are doing is in order to cow the Igbos, the Southeasterners, to keep quiet. Meanwhile, the real problem in the north, which they're supposed to even find a solution to, nobody's talking about it. Please, was it that problem that is causing this thing in the north? Because these are the reasons why some of us get angry with these people. When they come up with this idea of trying to be more patriotic than the real patriots. If you truly love Nigeria, will you allow terrorists to come to your region and start disturbing the whole country? Were you not the one that invited them? When did IPOB become a terrorist group? When? Mention any other country in the whole world that sees IPOB as a terrorist group. The UN is interested in what is going on in the southeast. They are interested in what is going on within Kano. So you mean to tell me that the whole United Nations is supporting a terrorist group in Nigeria? These people have no shame. I'm telling you, they have no shame. At the point, Buhari government was begging the UK to proscribe IPOB as a terrorist group. The UN should simply snub them. They were begging them to see them as a terrorist group. They didn't even bother to listen to them. What does that tell you? Every time they go to the southeast where there's no problem and create a problem there. Esther, you were here in the month of March when 2 trailer loads of people were brought from the north and they were deposited in Imo State. They said they came for hunting. They came for on a hunting spree in Imo State. Is that not true? Those people, have they come back? Where is that forest in Imo State where somebody can do such a business? Hunting. All the evil forests in the north, all the uncovered area in the north, they didn't see that place to go and hunt, where they will see big games.
Because President Darlington, Imapafo also said that other ethnic groups in Nigeria are in support of it, and that if the Nigerian government and its general think that IPOB is fighting for its own interests, let them fix a date for a Biafra referendum as demanded by IPOB to prove their claims. If there is a fix for a referendum, do you think a lot of Nigerians will sign that referendum? Do you think they'll be part of it?
You see, this government, in fact, they are not intelligent enough. Oh. You know that with what they have done so far in the southeast now, they have hardened the mind of the southeasterners. Those who did not believe in IPOB before and then the Carlo, they are beginning to believe in them now because of what they are doing to them. Have you witnessed the humiliation people go through when they are traveling to the southeast along that axis?
But don't you think, because the way they sound, they I don't know, but what Imapafo is saying that it's the Nigerian security agencies that are sponsoring the activities of the terrorists in the southeast, and that the Nigerian security agencies also sponsor the agents provocateurs who are committing all manner of crimes in Biafra land, and that these sponsored criminals turn their guns against Indibo in order to make the Biafra agitation unattractive. But a couple of persons who have been caught with arms and ammunition south of the southeastern region, and in some instances some of them are basic criminals, not necessarily attached to IPOB or anything. So in this instance, would you blame the Nigerian security agency? Would you blame the Nigerian army for that? Because some of these individuals have unilaterally carried out the activities on their own.
Esther, we blame them. In the first place, look at how this thing started. Because people don't discuss the genesis of a problem. They only see the problem when people reacted. In the first place, how did the Hope Uzodinma become the governor of Imo State? That's of where they started, because they needed somebody who will support their evil agenda. We had governors in Imo State, and there was no single noise throughout their tenure. How come under Hope Uzodinma this thing escalated. How come? Where number 4 became number 1? Esther, have you asked yourself that question? How come? When did the Igbo people become so aggressive that they are killing people, fighting each other? At what point? Since the creation of Nigeria, Esther, mention one day where the Igbos were agitating or protesting or shouting or killing people and telling people to go back to their own region. Mention one day. Even during the war, Esther, no Hausa man was killed in Igbo land. Ojukwu protected them. We didn't retaliate all they did to us. We did not retaliate. Even when Ojukwu was receiving headless bodies of Igbos at Umuahia station, he did not ask people to go and retaliate. He protected all of them. So, if you do not kill people that time, is it not that we start killing people, Esther? Answer me. To tell you that this was deliberately done. That's why I keep telling you that when you want to hang a dog, you give it a bad name. It is not in our culture to kill, not to talk of killing an Igbo person. It's not. Quote me anywhere. It is not. It's not in our character. This was imposed on us.
But with this long letter, with this long letter or response from Emma Powerful, do you think it would change anything? Because it was quite a lengthy one in them trying to describe to them the fact that it's not a violent organization.
Esther, hold on, listen very well. Look, nobody can change an idea whose time has come. Esther, the Israelites was in bondage in Egypt for 430 years. When the time came, and one stubborn Pharaoh wanted to stop the agenda of God. What happened to him? He died at the Red Sea. Esther, he died at the Red Sea. And since that day till now, you cannot ever mention the name of Egypt again. They died because they wanted to stop the agenda of God. And the Israelites are now the number 4 most powerful nation in the whole world.
All right, Barrister Darlington, let's take some calls. Okay. All right. Hello. Good evening.
Esther.
How are you?
Wachuku.
Yes, good evening.
Thank you. Happy Sunday and happy new coming week, working week in advance.
Thank you very much.
My name is Peter Usifa. I'm calling from Abanaja.
All right, Peter, go ahead, please.
Your two girls have spoken very well.
Okay.
But I'm not so comfortable.
Okay.
Because 2 of them are speaking from the same perspective. We
All
should
right.
have brought, made it to be balanced somehow.
That's why I brought Barrister Darlington. I needed some legal perspective concerning the Alan Oyema case.
You came with Elimehele, you are speaking from
Elimehele is not a barrister. He's just a political national social affairs commentator.
I know. Anyway, that is my own.
Okay.
But be that as it may, let me comment on the issues at stake.
All right.
First of all, on River State, I want to say that the impending case that the Fubara are taking to Supreme Court, that is the appeal case, which somehow said that the 800 billion naira budget was nullified, void and law.
Yes.
Like for me, it's okay. And this is the beginning of the end of Fubara, because I believe that after the Supreme Court, he is impeached or he may humbly resign.
You think so?
Finally, going to Amechi himself.
All right.
I think he's speaking like an aggrieved politician. Because he's a member of APC. I have not seen when he said he is no more a member of APC. And he's calling for revolution. That's writing the public. For what? Is it because he's not having any position now? So you should stop it and go and relax and stop inciting the public unnecessarily.
All right.
Thank you very much.
All right. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. And the WhatsApp number is 0817 1756 338. 081756 338. That's the WhatsApp number you can actually send your messages to. There's quite a lot of messages here, but I'm going to start off with this. Good evening. It's Adeyemi Kamara from Satellite Town, Lagos. It's injustice for anyone to blame the Tinubu administration for its current economic hardship for 8 years. We're living on a fake lifestyle with huge debts from foreign and domestic debts because the Central Bank of Nigeria continues to print money and the naira continues to depreciate there. Too much naira in circulation. agitation. Everything in Nigeria the last 8 years is done on debts. No country will survive in that economic policy. Some Nigerians will always have something negative to say about Nigeria and the government in power as long as their preferred candidate is not in Aso Rock. So take some of the criticisms with a pinch of salt. Adeyemi Kamara from Satellite Town. Thank you so much. Hello, good evening. Yes. Yes.
Please, after that man immediately, after him, who was in power before Tinubu? Was it not APC?
All right, hold on, Barrister Darlington. We're taking calls, all right? Hold on, sir. Hello, I can hear you. Go ahead. Go ahead. That was Barrister Darlington responding. Go ahead, please.
The light is so much over there, please. I can't hear.
It's Barrister Darlington that is talking. Go ahead, please.
My name is Chief. I'm calling from Ipajabarwa.
All right, sir. Go
I
ahead.
want to talk about Fubara and Wike. That is that man calling from Abarangay.
Yes,
I
Peter.
want to okay. Everybody knows what is going on. They are always on the wrong side. They will see white, they'll call it black. They will see black, they'll call it white. It's not the problem of Fubara. Wike defected. Everybody knew when those people defected from PDP to APC. And by the constitution, they are not working according to constitution. They just throw injustice because people have pocket everybody. Pocket judiciary, pocket everybody. That man always talking nonsense. How can they defect there and go there? Then people will tell them to come back and take over their seat before that man will approve the budget for the year for the people of River State. Is that right? They would have allowed them to elect PDP people to occupy the space. Let that man continue his work. God will punish all of them that is working negatively.
Biko, I beg, don't curse, all right? Please, don't do that. It's completely wrong, okay? I sincerely ask you to please just be logical with your response.
All of them, they feel was pocketed.
All right, thank you. Please do not curse when you call on the program. We will not take that, all right? Do not curse anybody on this platform. Do not curse. You can logically put out your perspective or reaction, but please do not curse. No slander, no defamatory statements. Hello, good evening. Welcome to the Political Spotlight.
Hello, good evening. My name is Israel. I'm calling from Ajegule.
All right, Israel, please go ahead. A minute, please.
Yes, sorry, I would like to correct one thing.
Okay.
This Mr. Yesufu that is calling.
Yes.
Most stations have been challenging. He keep on talking of Kubala impeachment. Doesn't know the meaning of impeachment, and he's not a reverse man. He keep on calling different stations, and they be telling him what is his stand on this. He will say the right thing. He will not say it. Anything he talk about APC is non and void. He doesn't want to hear. When he talk about the say Fuba, he will say they want to impeach him. Please, they should tell him can he withstand or can he defend himself when he's talking about impeachment. What does he mean by impeachment? If he's not a reverse man, people who are even reverse people, they are not even happy with the situation. They are trying to calm the situation. But all he knows is impeachment.
All right, thank you. Thank you for calling. All right, thank you. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. Amechi from Mafoluku says, good evening, Esther and VOP family. Nigerians were in a haste to change in 2015, but failed to assess the characters of the individual that were in front of the new government to be. See where that decision has taken us to. The system has made middlemen to be counted as poor people, and this is the first time we're having it so. This is the biggest mess. I weep for the common man. May God save our land. All right. Amechi from Mafaluku. Thank you for that message. Good evening, Esther and your guest. If Nigerians continue to lament from now till thy kingdom come about what is happening in the oil industry, nothing will change. Also, it is a taboo for anybody to call for a protest for fear of being charged for treason in the country. The solution is simple. Let Nigerians stay at home and boycott the fuel filling stations for now until the Minister of Petroleum, that is the president, explains to us what is going on in the oil industry, because the more you look, the less you see. Is it a curse to be a Nigerian? We are all fed up with this politician's liability company called Nigeria. Chai. All right, okay. And that is from Stephen Akimbisola Ijegu. All right, okay, from Lagos. Okay, thank you so much. I have this one as well. All right. Okay, I'm not going to read this out. Sorry. Good evening. APC is not ashamed of their failures. APC is the worst thing that has ever happened to Nigeria, if not God. Dead body for don't litter the whole streets in Nigeria. Harry Ogada from Pangrove. Harry will not see dead bodies littering our streets. Oh, amen. Good evening. APC is a unifier. It succeeded in making all Nigerians to cry one cry. A big power. What a party. Since 2015, APC has not told Nigerians how much they made from all sales. Rather, APC in 2024 is telling Nigerians they are owing. I beg, who are they owing? Nigeria is now a joke. Is it only APC that has not told us the truth about what they make from all sales? I don't think it's just peculiar to this administration. No. The previous administrations too, they don't give us any accountability. They don't tell us anything as to how they use their money. Hello. Good evening. Welcome to the Political Spotlight.
Good evening, Esther.
Yes, good evening. How are you, man?
I'm fine. Happy Sunday, Esther. God bless you for your good work.
All
My
right.
name is Lulu.
Okay. Hello?
Good evening, Mr. Darrenson.
Yes, he can hear you. Just continue, please. You have a minute. Hello?
I just want to appreciate you for your good work where you do for this evening.
Thank you.
You are doing good work. God bless you, my sister.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, we know
Okay.
we don't tire for Nigeria problems.
Okay.
We just have patience. Say our president tell us to have patience. So maybe we all have patience. We don't tire. This is night, so morning never comes. God bless
Okay.
you, my sister.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for that particular message. All right. This is still Voice of the People 90.3 FM. You're still on to the Political Spotlight. We'll soon be wrapping up. So let's try and be done with our calls and messages. So the number is 0700 903. Hello. Turn down the volume of your radio, please. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, name and location, please.
Okay, my name is Amayanabo of Okrika Land.
Okrika Land. Chai.
Yes.
All right. Okay, go ahead.
Miss, first thing first. Barrister Darlington, I hear.
Okay.
I've been listening to him.
Yes.
He's a very up and doing man. Very straightforward. Then, first thing I want to point out. All opposition leaders,
Yes.
like Obi, Atiku, and the rest.
Yes.
For me, whether major or no major, whatever they are forming, if they don't look at those things that the tribunal used to disqualify, deny us our mandate, the issue of life transition of the result, if those things are not enacted into to become law, everything that they are doing is a waste. They should see or call Nigerians to see that what do I call it? They should, instead of we protesting for fuel increase in fuel price, we should look at that area, call National Assembly to work on it to enact all those things to law.
All right.
At that point, we know that our elections were going to get it right.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Then,
All right.
for this other man that is always calling from Abaranje or what
Peter
is called,
Osife.
that man, the people, in fact, Nigerians should just ignore him. He does not know what he's saying.
All right, but
Thank you
he's
very
free
much.
to speak his mind, though, right? All right, this is from Ifeanyi from Okokomaiko. Please tell Esther, good evening. What Oga Darlington is saying is the truth. He speaks my mind. I'm good listening. I've been listening to you many years now. God bless you and VOP family. Thank you so much. Esther, good evening. Greetings to our guest. Esther, please tell Peter Osifo that court has not addressed the issues in Rivers. I don't know his happiness on kangaroo judgment that is going on. It's Daniel from Agege. All right. Thank you, Daniel, for that message. Let me read this one. Okay. Good evening, Esther and our guests, Barua Sahid. Tinubu has nothing to offer. I am in total support of Aisha's decision. Okay, my question is, those that recognize and voted for him, how is market? No wonder he's junketing around the world. As for Oyema's travel in the United States, I smell a rat. My suspicion is that they're trying to silence a gentleman and to prevent him from taking over the Nigeria-US route in the same manner he has done for the UK route. As for you, Peter Osifo, continue to support evil. Okay. You usually, Peter, he has a right to his own assessment to issues in the national polity. Hello, good evening. Welcome to the Political Spotlight. Hold on, Barrister Darlington. I'll call you later. Just stay on the line, please. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, name and location, please.
This is David calling from Yanajibo.
All right, please, David, you have a minute. Go ahead.
Well,
when we say what are they using the money they are getting from the NNPC to do? I want to let you know that what all the money they are getting from the NNPC, they are using it to a deep tunnel underground so that they will capture Nigeria to the land. And that is what is going on.
All right. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for your message, or rather for your call. Let me read about 2 messages. Mary from Okwafa. Anybody seeking Fubara's impeachment is enemy to peace and justice. Tinubu has been in leadership since the time of Buhari, so we have a right to blame him for the condition the economy is now. Finally, if the government does not want Biafran agitation, then release Nnamdi Kanu to prove that we are one Nigeria. Okay, Esther, this message addresses you people who like to say the president is not aware. Maybe you should read it and make me understand what this means. Good evening, Esther. I don't used to believe in Biafra before, but now I see the high level of marginalization of the Igbos since the country is too big for the government to govern. All right. None of you are putting your... Okay, Jude from Ajao Estate. Okay, on Wike Fubara Tosso, we shall surely see the end. Wike will get what he's looking for. I surely know that there is an end of the wicked. For Emma's case, the foreign airlines were cutting away our money as flight fares don't want air peace in the United States of America. All right. Good evening, Miss Esther. President T-Pain is aware of what is going on in River State, but he will not say anything because everything is planned between him and Wike. We are just watching the video. Wike will soon fall from that place. Well done for your work. Livinus from Onipanu. Thank you so much, Livinus. Good evening, Esther. APC has impoverished Nigerians during Buhari's time. Our earnings and income was reduced by half. You have 50,000 naira, and Emefiele and Buhari will make you withdraw only 25,000 or buy 25,000 from your 50K. The remaining 25, the president has wiped it through electricity and petrol hike. All right. Okay, that is a shame. Osadibi from Shasha. Okay, I would like to take a final take on our analyst. Barrister Darlington, what do you have to say as your final take before we leave?
Yeah, before my final take, let me address one important issue, because that particular young man has been making this comment out of ignorance.
What young man is that? What young man are you referring to?
I am talking about that guy from my Abaronji. I don't know where
Peter. Okay.
Now, let me tell him. That idea of impeachment can never come. Even the Supreme Court cannot impeach Fubara. Esther, for you to impeach a governor, you will not send the message. The State Assembly will send the message to the State Attorney General. It is the State Attorney General that will now constitute a panel to probe all the allegations of the governor. Please, which State Assembly will do that now in River State? And which Attorney General will do that in River State? Let that man answer me. So he should stop talking out of ignorance. It irritates me when people talk out of ignorance and they think that they are making a point. It is out of ignorance. It was Fubara who appointed the Attorney General. It was the Supreme Court that gave the victims to Fubara. How can they come back to impeach the same man for God? Is it possible? What kind of nonsense is this? Every time this guy will come and be making and people will be talking about it as he's making it. It is ignorance of the highest order.
All right, Barrister Darlington. Let's take a final take. Let's take a final take from Mr. Elvis Elimehele. All right, Mr. Elvis Elimehele, what would you have to say concerning our program, because we're about rounding off right now?
Yeah, the policy is getting heated up because of the situation we are going through in Nigeria now. The economy is not stable. So the fuel increase has, again, this Wednesday has increased the hardship of Nigerians. But let me tell you, Esther, it is not going to be better. Let nobody think that it's going to be better. I'm even saying that even before Christmas, there will be another adjustment. Let Nigerians just go and tighten their bed like they are saying. Then I want to wish him happy birthday. His birthday is tomorrow. And I have to use this opportunity to thank God for his life, everything, my son. I want to
tell him happy birthday and God will protect him for me. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Elvis Elimehele. And Barrister Darlington, thank you so much for your time and giving us your perspective. Quite an informative, interesting conversation we had this evening. My name is Esther Machuku. You can follow me on YouTube, Estic Media on YouTube. That's ESTIQ MEDIA. ESTIQ MEDIA. Thank you so much. And for some of you who sent your messages on YouTube, I want to say thank you for being part of the conversation this evening. Bye for now and see you in the Political Spotlight next week, Sunday.